The Chainsawman anime does something what many other shonen anime and manga doesn't, and this makes Chainsawman work incredibly well. When it comes to most anime and manga series, the main characters are always portrayed as morally superior. They always do their best possible choice. They aren't selfish, they are honest, and the motivations behind their actions is always noble, or serves the greater good for everyone. They also have barely any flaw, and when they have some flaws, said flaws are incredibly minor compared to the flaw of an actual human being. Like they are just over shy or just simply dumb. But despite them still being dumb, they still do good deeds for the sake of helping others and help the greater good. And this is exactly what Chainsaw Man didn't do. Denji isn't motivated by some greater good. All what he cares about is to have a better life for himself. He isn't afraid to hurt people around him to fight off devils. When the bad devil attacked, he didn't hesitate to throw the car with a passenger in it back at a devil, because simply he doesn't care. He only cared about killing the devil so he could protect Power and touch her boobs. That was his entire motivation. And even later on, after the end of the first half of the story, he only cared about fame. He wanted people to find out that he is Chainsaw Man because he would be famous. His biggest motivations isn't noble or anything close to that. He simply wants to enjoy his own life. Denji is incredibly selfish, stubborn, violent, and he's a basic asshole. Way too often a terrible person in the most possible ways. But it works because we humans are exactly like that. We humans are not a one or two-sided beings. We show a vast amount of different emotions and behaviors depending on the situations we are in. We try to play the moral high ground way too often, but at the end of the day, our motivations behind said thing isn't noble. We help others not because we like helping people, but because we enjoy the recognition and attention gained from said positive action. We aren't doing good deeds because we are good, but because said good deeds benefit us in some ways. Denji helps people with killing devils because he gets attention and fame from it. He doesn't kill devils because he wants to protect humanity. He does it simply for himself. But Denji isn't the only character who acts like a real human would. Kobeni is also a great example of a realistic character. She was absolutely terrified during the entire mission, going in and out from multiple panic attacks and mental breakdowns in a short time period. Even trying to kill her teammates just to free herself from the situations they were stuck in. Most humans in a situation what she was stuck in would act the exact same way she would. She was a regular human put into a world of a paranormal, neglected and abused by her parents, forced either to sell her body or kill monsters, who could easily kill her and her entire team with easy in most gruesome way possible. Many people might think that her actions are annoying and terrible, and they will be right. That's exactly what makes it a good character. In a situations like hers, most of us would act the exact same way. Her behavior is terrible, but so are ours. And this is why Kobeni works perfectly fine. This is yet another example of why Chainsaw Man is an incredibly good story. Chainsaw Man doesn't try to show its characters as the absolute best humans. It doesn't try to show its characters as some morally superior people who constantly do the best possible actions in any scenario. Chainsaw Man shows its characters as humans, full of all kind of flaws. It shows its characters as terrible, selfish people. Their motivations are not always noble. Their behavior isn't constantly the same. They do bad things, and when they do good things, the motivation behind them are not always noble. Take a look at Aki, for example. His entire family died because of the Gun Devil. He seeks revenge and wants to kill the Gun Devil at all costs. This makes his goals somehow noble, but his behavior isn't. He beats Denji up after knowing him barely for few minutes. He judges Denji without even trying to learn who he is. what is his backstory, his true motivations, or anything. He simply beats him up because he thinks he isn't worth it, solely from looking at him for a short time period. And even after they somehow became friends, he still often reminds them, both Denji and Power, that they are disposable, and if they do anything wrong, they can be killed. He's constantly shown to be cold, cruel, and a basic asshole, just like Denji. But it works because he's a human, and humans are full of flaws. We humans are full of flaws and mistakes. We are terrible living beings, motivated by our own ego and greed. And Chainsawman does a great job showing this. Chainsawman doesn't try to show its characters in the best possible way. In fact, it tries to do the exact opposite. It constantly reminds us that the characters we are seeing and following are not the best people. Chainsawman isn't afraid to show the absolute worst side of its characters, and this makes it a unique and refreshing story. While most shonen anime and manga tries to portray its characters in the best way possible, Chainsawman shows us our own humanity in its characters.